My name is August Snow, and I am a professional master hairstylist.
I'm Javon Robertson, CEO and designer behind the House of Jay Amore.
It's your boy J2. I'm a battle rapper.
It's your boy Kid Fro, model to the stars, next male supermodel.
My name is Nick. I'm a personal trainer. I am
Young, black, and gifted.
For dark nights, for good days, for hard fights, for good ways, for bright lights, for blackouts, for white dice, when I'm crapped out, when I'm up big, when I'm down bad, when it's champagne, the clutch in the brown bag, when it sound good, when it's more now, when around the world open the door lock, when the keys new or broken the door knob, when it means you important to pour out, pray that the dream true, when the lies talk, when the things you thought was the high stop, what if we knew how to fly drop, lose from an ego, and my mind talk, me what I need do, never mind ops, when the seed grew, it tore up the sidewalk, so keep coming up, keep coming up, keep coming up.
Hey y'all, hey family. My name is Amber Rain Smith. I am an award-winning actor, a published model, investor, mentor, and the founder of My Brown Beauty Co. I'm super excited to be here with you all and just share a few things that have been really helpful along my journey. And I'll just go ahead and jump right into it, okay? So first things first, you are super powerful. You literally can have whatever you want just because you want it. You have the energy that creates worlds within you. And please never be afraid to harness that and really use it to your best ability. Literally anything that you speak can become just because you speak it. So understand that there is life and death in the power of your tongue. So just be aware of the things that you are saying in your day-to-day life, what you're saying about yourself, what you're saying about your environment, because it really manifests into reality. Secondly, I want you to know that you are in control. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic. There's so much going on in the world, and it's hard to not fall into that victim mentality where, oh, things are happening to me, I have no say-so in them, but you do have a say-so in the way that you react to things, in the way that you feel about things, the way that you feel about yourself. So understand that yes, things may happen that aren't the best, that aren't shiny and golden, but more often than not, they're working out for your good. So always keep that in mind. Things are not happening to me, they're happening for me. There's growth, there's lessons to be learned. Lastly, I want to urge you to be nice to yourself. So often we are our toughest critics. We talk bad about ourselves. We don't like the way we look or the way that we do certain things, but understand that you have to be your own best friend. Just like if your best friend came to you and they were upset or they had a new project that they were starting and they needed words of encouragement, you would be there for them. You have to be that same way and keep that same energy towards yourself. It is a game changer, I promise you.
Hey, how are you? I am Wesley from A Connection TV on YouTube and WatchACTV.com, a new online streaming network. I have been in the entertainment realm since 2005, starting off with YouTube, and to present day, now running my own online streaming network. I am a director, a producer, a writer, an editor, an actor. I am all of that. And I love to dibble and dabble in the arts as far as like drawing and painting and dance and music. I am here with a message to let you know that as long as you continue on a journey that your heart wants you to be on, anything is possible. You have to want to do it in order to accomplish it. And even though it's been so long for me, I have seen so many things in this world. I have been able to touch so many people, and I attribute that to my love for entertainment. The road isn't easy though. You have to put in the grind, you have to put in the hustle, you have to put in the work. Okay? There are gonna be so many times where people tell you no. There are gonna be so many times where you get discouraged. There are gonna be so many times where it's like hard to pay a bill. But as long as you stay focused and as long as you stay determined, you'll be crushing obstacles. If there is something that you want to accomplish in the entertainment world, the only way to even get remotely close is to go for it. If you want to be an actor, be an actor. If you want to be a director, pick up a camera. If you want to be a producer, start planning and organizing. If you want to be a writer, start writing. It's not going to happen if you don't want it to happen. I also want you to remember that there is no such thing as no, as long as your response to every issue, every concern, anything in your life is yes, okay? Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So no matter what's thrown your way, your reaction is going to dictate how you get through. Create your own path. It is possible. You don't have to look at anyone's journey to understand how yours needs to go or to ensure that yours moves forward. You're the driver in your car.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Rico Castaner. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 32 years old. I'm a rapper, actor, model, activist. Born and raised from Atlanta, Georgia, right off Camp Creek Parkway, south side of Atlanta. I went to high school at Westlake High School. I've always been a creative. I've always been into the arts and music. I've always loved doing different things that, aren't the normal. Sometimes you need to be encouraged when it comes to your passion and your dreams. And the things that I do to encourage myself is to always stay focused on what I'm doing and make sure that I am learning and growing in my passion. I encourage everyone to stay in the field that they love and want to be in. And when you find a passion that is something that you believe in and something that you want to grow into, you have to always, no matter how hard it gets, no matter who isn't there for you or who is there for you, you have to want it for yourself. You have to be the one that sits there and wakes up every morning and yearn and burn and earn and just want to keep going and pushing yourself. There's no one else that can make you live your dream other than yourself. So I encourage everyone to live their dream to their fullest. Don't waste time. Don't think there's nothing that you can do. If you have a dream that you want to accomplish or something that you want to do, do it. Because I promise you, no one else is going to encourage you to go out and do anything for yourself other than you. Staying focused is the most important thing. There are things that happen in our lives every day that deters us from getting things done that we need to do. You have to stay determined and focused to your goal and to your passion. There has been times where I've had to use my last dollar. I've had to go and scrape and borrow to make sure that I finished something that I started. But it was because I was focused on my dream and determined to do what I needed to do to get it done that I did not stop. You have to stay focused. You have to make a plan. Prior proper planning is something that I always tell anyone I work with. It's big when it comes to me and my team because you have to have a plan for things, because no matter what happens in life, things will happen to deter you. So you have to stay focused on making sure that anything that you do gets completed. You have to make sure. You have to look at things. You have to write things down. You have to study. You have to make sure that every person that is on your team understands your goal, your vision, your accomplishments, everything. They have to know what it is that you want out of what you're trying to do.
What's up, y'all? I'm Gary LeVard, and here's my words of encouragement to becoming young, gifted, and black. I wrote this down, so bear with me. I would say to always love yourself, be yourself, believe in yourself, go after what you want unapologetically. Don't let fear get in the way or stop you from becoming and doing all you were created to be. If it doesn't work, try again. Fight for yourself. Follow your heart and do what makes you happy. Never give up despite the challenges, the lonely days and nights, the lack of support from others, haters, criticism, non-believers. Know that you have something to offer the world and that you are worthy and deserving of great things.
Hi, I'm Deidre Allen, and I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for over 25 years, and I absolutely love being my own boss. Leaving you with a few words about entrepreneurship. To be great in entrepreneurship, you must be consistent. Always be consistent. Make sure your work is consistent. Make sure your business ethics are consistent. And make sure on your time management is consistent. Consistency is one of the keys to being an entrepreneur. Another thing I want to say about entrepreneurship is how you do business and who you do business with. As a small business, you have to be very aware of the people you're doing business with. Big corporations kind of separate themselves from doing business one-on-one with people. That's why they hire managers, CEOs, CFOs to do the business so they won't actually have to meet with people. But when you are a small business and it's only you have to be extremely careful about the people you are doing business with. You have to look for morals, integrity, business ethics on how they do business. And if they don't do business how you do business, it's not going to work. All right. Another thing about being an entrepreneur, study your business. Study what it is that you're doing or you're selling. Know that product or know that service inside and out. All right. People know when you're bullshitting them. Okay. So make sure that when you are talking to people about a business, about a service or a product that you are selling or you are doing, make sure that you know that product or that service inside and out. Really study what you do. And make sure, most of all, that you enjoy what you are doing. I hope you all have a happy new year, that this 2021 will bring on a multitude of blessings and prosperity. Happy New Year.
Hey guys, my name is King Kane. I am a wardrobe stylist, former designer, and I'm just recently got into doing the whole YouTube thing and media personality. I absolutely love it. I'm a man of many talents, and so can you. Listen, you're starting a business, you're trying to do anything in this world, it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen overnight, okay? But you have to know, first of all, who you are, why you're doing it, what's the end goal, and make sure that it has purpose. And overall, you really, really, really want to keep God first. I don't care who you are, where you come from, you're not going to be able to do anything in this world, in this life, without God. And that's something that I truly, I'm almost 30. I'll be 30 this year, and that's something that I just now tapped into. And He has been doing things, blowing my mind consistently, and I just find myself thinking like, wow, all I have to do is trust God and put God first this entire time. But that's okay. Hopefully you guys will take these gems and use these gems. And also, you cannot be concerned by naysayers. There's going to be haters. There's going to be people who are going to be mean and nasty and rude for really most of the time absolutely no reason. But you have to keep going. You have to push through and be yourself. You know, who really cares at the end of the day? Own it, live it, love it. Okay? And that's just on Pirapoo. I really hope you guys listen to these gems, take them in, and do you, boo, and you're going to be fine, okay? And with this knowledge, you can become young,
gifted, and black.
I'm 27. I'm originally from New Orleans, and growing up for me has been a little struggle being, a young entrepreneur, but I seem to overcome all of my obstacles and challenges because that's just who I am, and that's hard, and it's easy for me.
Again, my name is August Snow. I'm 32 years old. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and growing up was crazy. It was definitely crazy. I am one of the oldest of 4, and being the oldest, you gotta play a lead role, and you kind of stuck with a whole lot of responsibilities. I don't know, just because my mom had me young, she was very different. I mean, not in a bad way, but you know, she applied a lot of pressure to me, and it helped.
I'm Javon Robertson. I am the CEO and designer behind House of J. Moore. Originally, I just started off as a fashion designer. Then I got into doing makeup and hair, so I actually go by the Glamour Mogul. I have been designing for 8 years now, going on 9. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Single parent household. My mother raised me. I was the only child until 12, and then my little sister came. Growing up, it was a single family household. My mother was just there. Most of my family was in Dayton, so we was in Columbus. It was just us. It was a typical childhood. I didn't have a bad childhood, but I wasn't rich off either. We was upper, I'm not gonna say upper, we was middle class. We struggled sometimes, but my mom always made ends meet. And
I'm 36, from Indianapolis, Indiana. Growing up was good. Like I don't have like the trauma story. I don't have any kind of like crazy anything crazy that happened to me as a kid. My mother was amazing. She provided for us. She made sure that we had anything that we wanted at any given time. You know what I'm saying? We did live in the hood. You know what I mean? But it was, it was a regular lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? We weren't rich, we weren't poor. You know what I mean? She made it happen. You know what I mean? And it was a good childhood. It was a good childhood. Going into like high school, I started to kind of make decisions that led me to, down different routes in life. But that wasn't her fault. You know what I'm saying? Growing up was, at some point, I started making my own choices, and I had to start dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? So when you get into J2 and you start hearing like, oh, he went to jail, he went to prison, that's not a reflection of, my childhood and my upbringing. That's just, choices that I made.
My name is Kid Fro, but if you want to go by government, my name is Jeffrey. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Bed-Stuy Bully, you know what it is. I'm currently 28, Aquarius, birthday coming up in 4 months. Growing up for me is, I guess, different from everybody else. Well, not different from everybody else, but I have an extended family. Again, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Of course, that's where my brother, sisters, biological father, biological mother, that's where they all reside, still close to all my siblings. I moved to South Carolina sometime around middle school, did like middle school and high school and college in South Carolina. I have a lot of cousins and whatnot in South Carolina. Sumter, South Carolina is where I went to high school. Columbia, South Carolina is where I went to college. Shout out to Allen University, AU. Of course I'm African American, so our lifestyle is a little different from what you see portrayed on TV all the time, unless you've seen like the negative sides of it. I will say, being from Brooklyn and, having a life in South Carolina, some things are definitely what it seems on TV and some things are not. My family's very thuggish, the best way I can say that. I think growing up for me, that made me tough, because when I was young, I used to be really, really soft. And I think I was really confused on who I was for a long time, because I was so in tune with trying to be so much like my brothers and so much like my cousins and how everybody else was, that it never really made sense. So I was really soft, but I was trying to be like, just like them, I was trying to be a little thug, low key. But I always came across as a pretty boy. I've just always been a pretty boy. So that's why I used to always go around calling myself a pretty boy thug. As I got older, it definitely made me realize how much different I was from everybody else, how much alike I was to everybody, but how much different I was to everybody in the same breath.
I've increased my I've increased my personal training people like 5 to 10, so I have like 5 to 10 new clients. I used to be a gymnast, so I think making it to the Junior Olympics was like a really big accomplishment for me.
Some accomplishments that I've made in life that I feel was like, first of all, shocking to me that I even was able to do it was even just being a business owner in Atlanta. Like, I look up every day, I'd be driving to my shop and I'd be like, damn, like, nigga, you got a shop in Atlanta. Like, like not anywhere, but in Atlanta. What a lot of people, especially in my industry, they want and they desire. So for me to have it and be blessed with it is kind of like, it's always a wow to me. Another thing is I was recently able to get a 501(c)(3) and start a nonprofit organization. And I always wanted to be able to do more outside of just being a hairstylist. I think that's a platform, and having it, I just wanted to be able to use it and do other things. So being able to do things in a community and able to do it right is a major accomplishment for me. And it lets me know that, you know, I'm getting on the right track and everything that I'm supposed to be doing is kind of like working out right.
My biggest accomplishments this year for me was gaining a lot of celebrity clientele, especially during COVID. I was given the opportunity to dress Drea Kelly. She's known for being R. Kelly's ex-wife. She was on VH1 shows as well. After that, I was doing makeup for Angie Stone. So those are my biggest accomplishments this year. It was starting to gain a lot of celebrity clientele as well as releasing my men's line.
I would definitely say one of my biggest accomplishments as a model in general was the first time I ever walked in New York Fashion Week. I think, honestly, it was so crazy. And I know you said, I just want to talk about this though, but it was so crazy because I remember like literally before going to New York Fashion Week, mind you, I'm from New York, so going to New York was never going to be like a big thing. But being a part of New York Fashion Week, I remember being in bed and telling myself like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not ready. I'm not about to be up there with the big dogs and, you know, trying to compete against them to stand up forth. And, you know, it really took my friends, like a bunch of my friends, to be like, listen, this is your moment, you get what I'm saying? Like, you've been fighting for this, you've been working for this, we're not about to let you give it up. I want to say that's my biggest accomplishment because I remember being at a casting and there was so many talented models. I remember being against the wall, watching everybody walk, and I was thinking like, I'm not doing this, I'm about to leave. Like, I'm not playing this game, y'all not about to embarrass me. But for some odd reason, my legs wouldn't move to make me leave. So I'm just kind of standing there, and then boom, it's my turn. So I walked and, you know, walked up, walked back down. They was like, can you walk again? Cool, you know, walked, did it again. And then it was so crazy. It probably was about, no flex, I want to say it was about 50 models in there. And it was so crazy the way the casting went because they were casting for multiple designers. And I want to say it was like 7 designers and I literally booked 4. And it was so crazy. I remember sitting there like, are you kidding me? Like, I beat out all these models from around the world at New York Fashion Week to work for like 4 major designers. Like, it was crazy. And that, aside from that, graduating college definitely was my other biggest accomplishment because college definitely, I went to the HBCU again, shout out to Allen University. It was new because it was my first time actually being out on my own. I wasn't living in my mom's crib. I wasn't, you know, able to link up with my friends, family, all that. Like, you had to make a new family, you had to make new friends, and you're challenged with these new situations and positions in life that you haven't been in before since, you know, you're out on your own for the first time. So I definitely learned how much of a hard worker I was, I learned how much of a hustler I was, and I definitely, college was around the time when I actually found out that I really wanted to model. So those are definitely 2 of my biggest accomplishments.
I'm the first openly gay battle rapper to touch the main stage. The URL had a Crucible project, which is like an entry level tournament for the league, and I was the first openly gay battle rapper to do that. It was actually the first time they ever did that, but it's the first time that an openly gay battle rapper ever rapped in front of Smack, URL, Beasley, P, the whole 9. That, and what else did I do this year? Oh, I created some streams of income that were going to keep me from having to go back and clock in. Even though I might still have to go back and clock in later on next year. But we cool though. You know what I mean? We cool though. I did it though.
I don't even know where to start. Like, challenges for me to be where I am today was just really, I was the challenge. Like, me, defeating me, you know what I'm saying? Like, things that you grew up listening to and having in your brain and in your mind, and having a mindset that this is what it is, even though that's not what it is. That was like the major challenge, just changing my mindset of anything. And then trusting processes, losing and gaining and learning how to keep in the process of losing and gaining. Those was that, because when you lose, a lot of times when you lose confidence as well. And a lot of people, they don't go back and they don't attack it again because they lost their confidence. Of course, I'm human. So if you don't have that faith after you lose your confidence, it can deteriorate. Like, you just gonna end up, you can go the wrong way. And I've done that so many times, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody.
I actually had no plans of going into the fashion industry. I graduated high school as a medical assistant, and from there I was working in the medical field, and I loved what I did. I love my job, I love the people I worked for, and something happened, I was just like, I need a break. So I started working at another job that was not in the field, and at that job, I loved my job. My supervisor was great, he got a promotion, and I got that one supervisor that everybody hates. And she looked at me one day and she's like, you look like you don't want to be here. And I'm always a nice person, and I just looked at her dead in her face and said, I don't. And the next words out of her mouth was, are you working for your circumstances, or are you working for your destiny? The very next thing out of my mouth was, I'm gonna go to school for fashion. I don't know where it came from, it just came out. And she was like, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I want you to take the next hour, go ahead, look at some fashion schools. And I did, and everything just started from there. So I literally had no intentions, but once I did, I started telling people, like my school teacher who found out who was my medical assistant teacher. She was like, I always wondered why you weren't in fashion. I always thought you were in fashion. My aunt was like, I thought you made your girlfriend's homecoming dress and prom dress. I was like, I didn't make that other stuff. But anyway, it was just something I always had in me, but I never thought about it. It was just so natural to me. I never looked at it as a talent.
Battle rap was crazy, so my homeboy hits me up one random day. He like, I'm finna pull up on you and show you this YouTube video. So he hits me up, so he pulls up, he shows me this YouTube video, and I now know was Couture, one of the GOATs. Couture versus Miss Pat. And they had made it on World Star. And I'm like, what happened? She had made the girl cry in the battle. So she's like wilding on us. So I'm looking at, I don't even know what I'm watching. I'm thinking that they just arguing. I'm just thinking there's two girls arguing, but I'm like, wondering like, why are all these people standing around her? Why they ain't fighting? So I'm watching the battle and shit. Can I say shit? Mm-hmm. So I'm watching the battle and shit, and now I'm scrolling. Now I'm watching. I'm going through Queen of the Ring. I'm looking at the battles. The females is going crazy. They just arguing with each other. They battling. I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. So then I happen to stumble across some males battle rapping. Now I'm even more interested. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm like, oh, so dudes is doing this too. I'm on Instagram scrolling one day, and I happened to see somebody that I was following that was from Indianapolis, from where I'm from. Crazy. Never even knew how I followed him. And he's battling. But he's battling on a gay league in New York. So I hit him up. I'm like, bro, I know you don't know me, but you from Indy, I'm from Indy, I'm older than you. Tell me everything that you know about this battle rap shit. Now, I need to know what's going on. Like, how was you battling? You know what I'm saying? So he gives me the information. I go on Facebook. I contact the league. You know what I'm saying? I join the little Facebook group. And then I end up getting into it, one of the homosexuals in there. So I was like, okay, this ain't gonna be for me, the game. But I knew that I'm like, okay, if there's a gay league in New York, it's gotta be a league in Atlanta. Long story short, about 2 months later, they give me a shot outside of an event, after an event. They like, we ain't gonna put you on no card. We gonna have an event, and then after the event, if you wanna rap in the parking lot, you can. So I pulled up and rapped in the parking lot. I shook the parking lot. Everybody was impressed, and so they gave me my first battle like 2 months after that, and I took the first battle. It was crazy. It was a rap after that.
I remember going to college, and literally like my first week there, I got into it with a boy. I don't even remember why we got into it. It was like so stupid, and we got into like this big argument, and then like that same night, my college and another college was like across the street from each other, and it ended up being like this big brawl. And I was standing outside, and it had nothing to do with me, so I was sitting there minding my business. Then one of the people from the other college came by, like while everybody's fighting and arguing this and forth, came by, was like, yo, oh y'all pussy, y'all beat the fuck out y'all, da da da. And I was sitting there like, okay, all right, so knuckle up, like you gonna double up on that. And then it made me realize, like after that, it became a case where everybody really was like on edge, because it was like you really could get kicked out of college for this. And then it dawned on me like how would it look if I have to call my mother and tell her, sorry that you took that loan out, sorry that you made all these sacrifices for me to get here, but yeah, I'm out. Like, so it dawned on me, and luckily I ran into who's now my best friend. I just so happened to around the same time meet a guy by the name of Stefan Allen, aka Zo Dupree, and he kind of reached out and was like, I see a lot of talent in you. I see, you know, because he's from Philly, so he was like, I see certain things in you that are like very similar to, you know, me and so on and so forth. And he just so happened to be having a fashion show at college. It was like that Friday or whatever, and he was just like, just come work for me. And I was like, I'm into clothes and stuff like that, but like the whole fashion thing wasn't like, my thoughts on it wasn't really like set, you get what I'm saying? So that was like my first taste of it. But then I was a business major, so I also had to do, what is it called, internship. So in one of my business classes, we had a mandatory credential that we had an internship. So Zo kind of helped me out a little bit and made sure, I ended up with this magazine, and that's when it like really, really kicked off because I had to submit articles and had to cover events and do celebrity correspondent. So I started meeting a whole lot of celebrities. I started attending a whole lot of high fashion events, writing up articles on it, things of that sort. And the more I would do it, the more I would realize like the diversity in it, the talent in it, just the overall atmosphere of it. Like fashion is a culture of itself, and that's something I learned through the internship. So starting off with the fashion show from Zo and then doing the internship with BE Magazine, it was just like, this is really like, it was just dope. So that's really when I found out that I wanted to get into fashion, when I wanted to get into modeling and things of that sort. And that was long-winded as shit.
My biggest letdowns for me career-wise, I was given an opportunity to dress someone for the Emmys a few years ago, and I literally was on vacation when I got the phone call. Did not do anything on vacation. I literally stayed in a hotel room, did sketches, went to the fabric store, submitted everything, worked on this gown that was ridiculous, all for the stylist to stop responding to my calls once everything was finished. Then the 24 hours before the Emmys, I got a phone call asking me to overnight the dress to them. Long story short, he went with a different designer, and it didn't work out. And he tried to come after me, but at that point, he didn't want to pay for shipping, and I was kind of over it. So that was one of my biggest letdown, career-wise for me.
I think the biggest challenge I came through to become who I am today was understanding like who I really am. You know what I'm saying? Like being younger, you being raised in the church, you're raised to think that this is who you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And I had a traditional, like my grandmother, she's very, very old school. You know what I mean? So she doesn't go for a lot of things. She wanted you, if she's got an idea of how you're supposed to be and how your life's supposed to go, that's what you're supposed to do. And then getting older and rebelling, sometimes when you rebel, you're not really being your own person. You're just trying to be the opposite of what you think everybody wanted you to be. So when you're rebelling, a lot of people think like, oh, I'm going to do me. No, really, you're just trying to do the opposite of what everybody said you should. And that's still not you. Like I said, the biggest thing I had to overcome was all of that. Like, because there was so many, I didn't know there was so many aspects to me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that me, myself, was a fucking spectrum. You know what I mean? So like I didn't realize like, okay, that's you. All these different things are you, and you don't have to like withhold any of that. You don't have to hold back your aggression. You have to figure out how to finesse it. You have to figure out how to be you and make it look good. And once I figured that out, I was able to navigate through life a lot better. And once I learned how to navigate through life, I was more I created a peace for myself, because now I'm never uncomfortable. I'm never scared. I'm never in a situation that I don't feel like I can conquer. You know what I mean? Like any room, I feel like I can be the leader of the room.
Not being able to have the best accomplishment or the best interaction with my real father has been a huge letdown for me, because being raised by my stepfather has been great, but obviously not having your biological father in your life has been a huge letdown for me, especially when I wanted him to, be included in a lot of the accomplishments that I have been through. It's been a huge letdown not having him there. And another one would be from this pandemic, losing a lot of clients due to not wanting to be in a gym atmosphere due to COVID, because a lot of my clientele are 40 plus. So that's been a letdown too, because going into it, having a lot of clients and then having it dwindle down due to COVID-19 has been another letdown.
I feel like one of my biggest letdowns, which actually was a blessing in disguise, but my biggest letdown I would say would be in my biological parents, because I definitely look at them like, I have a total of 12 or 13, I can't really remember, but I have like 12 or 13 siblings. So being the only one that was like adopted, even though I was still within the same family because my aunt adopted me, but that's my mother regardless of anything. But that was one of my biggest letdowns, because I just feel like, out of all these siblings, I was the one who kind of, was like, boom, we're going to give you up. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I say it's a blessing in disguise, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be as driven as I am if it wasn't for that situation. I wouldn't be as intelligent and educated as I am. I wouldn't be nothing like myself. But I definitely look at that as it was one of those biggest letdowns, because it was just, who wants to be that one? You get what I'm saying? There's like 13 of us. Why would I be that one? Aside from that, one of my biggest letdowns, I would say, would be in relationships in general that I've been in, just aside from the one I'm in now. The one I'm in now is perfect. But every relationship, I think, before my current one, shout out to Mel, hey. But every relationship I've been in before this one was a letdown, because I've always been the type of person that I'm a rider, you get what I'm saying? And I don't ever like hype myself up, but when you really look at it, like, I'm good looking as shit, I'm fly as hell, I'm driven, I'm a businessman, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm stylish as, you get what I'm saying? Like, so aside from that, I'm a rider. I hold you down. Like, I've always put my best foot forward, and I've always given my all to everybody. And then, people just don't kind of live. You can live up to other people's expectations, but they don't live up to yours. And I think that's definitely been one of my biggest letdowns. It makes me kind of like not trust people, and it kind of makes me hate opening up and giving anything of myself to people.
The struggle. I went through so much, even just now that I think about it, from just coming here and being here in Atlanta. Like, I go from moving from Indianapolis, having everything together, saving all the money, so that I can move and relocate to Houston, get there, I can get a place, I got a car, everything is together. And then I decide to move to Atlanta. On my way to Atlanta, I end up losing everything. From my car, and I planned everything right. Like, I planned a place, I had a car, I had a shop, I was working with VH1. Like, when I tell you everything within, it was the worst. And I couldn't go backwards, because at this time I didn't have no money. I don't know nobody. I really don't know a lot of people in Houston. I've only been living here like 18 months. I'm on my way to Atlanta. My family's back, I'm all messed up. I'm rebuilding myself in Houston, in the process of building myself in Atlanta. Mind you, I'm a hairstylist, so it's not like I'm getting paid hourly or I done got paid to move and relocate here. I'm doing this on my own. So I'm in the middle of Alabama, and the frame of my car, it breaks. I don't even know what to do at this point. So I spent all my money to go to get this car fixed, and I've been living here in Alabama for probably about 2.5 weeks. In the process of spending money, Ubering and doing all this stuff, trying to get places and just eat. So you don't even know, you can save so much money, but it goes so fast. I end up linking with another stylist who had a shop, and I had stayed with her maybe about a week. I was like, fuck it, I'm about to do my own thing. And I stepped out, I just started looking for places on Craigslist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not staying here to be controlled by my job, my mind. I'm a man before anything, and you're gonna respect my decisions and what I'm doing, no matter what it is, what I'm going through. But when you stand with people, they treat you a certain, it's just what it is. We got a great relationship now, but at that time, it just wasn't good, especially when you stand with people. So staying with people, it just didn't work for me. I don't give a, I was not going back. to Houston because it didn't work for me, and I wasn't going back to Indiana because I knew that I was gonna either die or go to jail, or like it wasn't a good place for me just because of the environment from Indiana. So I was stuck here to just face it and deal with all the situations, not having a place to live, not really having a job. So I stayed here. I looked for places on Craigslist. I did that for probably for months. And then I found a friend, and me and her roommated together because she was going through some situations too. So I just ended up, God aligning me up with somebody who was going through the same process that I was going through and wanted growth and desire. And we just came together and was able to just be roommates and able to grow. I even think about it like now, like I don't even know how I got all the shit I got, like, cause a couple years ago, I was fucked up. I swear to God, I was so messed up. So to be like where I am now is like, it's crazy. I need some time, man.
I got you.
So one of my biggest strengths would be that I love taking ownership. So like taking accountability and the initiative is one of my biggest strengths because I've always been the type to just, when I have to complete a project, I seem to just hit it head on and complete it. And I would say one of my weaknesses would be that taking on too much at one time, like not asking for help. Because like I said, with it just being me and my mom, like there's been times that I've just had to step in and just do what needed to be done. So like again, one of my weaknesses would be just taking on too much and not asking for help, just kind of just doing it all by myself.
I would say my biggest strength is my ability to listen. The reason why I say this is because a lot of times I have clients who come to me and they say they want this and they want this, and you feel like what they're saying they think is so detailed. But when you actually take the time to listen to what they're saying, sometimes what they want is not what they're saying that they want. I've had people come to me, I like this because I want this, and I like the way that this moves, and I like this moves, but I like to feel like this. Well, if you like to feel like this, you don't necessarily need this, you need this. So when you can actually listen to someone and comprehend what they're saying, it makes the connection even greater. Weaknesses, my heart is too big. Because people be coming to me and they be like, oh, it's my, like, prime example, last week I'm in a fabric store and this girl, it's my wedding and my dress came in, it was horrible. She showed me a picture. She ordered her dress from Wish.com and her budget was $300, and I literally was going to eat the price just to make her new wedding dress. Because, I mean, like, a wedding is something that you have memories of forever. You don't be looking at this dress and all your pictures and be like, I should have never ordered for Wish again. So I just think my heart is too big, and that stops me and prevents me a lot.
My biggest strengths are, I feel like, this isn't to hype myself, but I really feel like I have one of the most creative mindsets on this earth. Though I don't think like anybody else, and I noticed that. And that's why I've been so successful in my fields. I definitely, like, my mind, it moves 1,000 miles per second. But it's so amazing, like, the thoughts that come up. Like, I literally go to sleep with a million things on my mind. And it's stressful sometimes. And it definitely is not built for everybody. Like, some people lose their minds when they, have a lot going on. But some of the most successful people are some of the most creative people who are some of the most disturbed people, honestly. It's really a psychological thing. But one of my biggest strengths is definitely that I don't think like anybody else. I don't move like anybody else. I don't try to act nor be anybody else. I attack situations from a different angle from anybody else would think about it. I want to say my biggest weakness would be I try to help everybody. But quite honestly, I feel like it could be a blessing in disguise because I'm really big on unity. So I feel like nobody can succeed without other people. Teamwork truly makes the dream work. So at the end of the day, you go through trials where you meet the wrong people and you filter them out, and then you meet the right people. You have to make room. So I definitely say I'm a little too open sometimes, but I feel like it works out in the end. So my biggest weakness is actually one of my biggest strengths as well. McQueen. He was. I was actually about to say he's more realistic and more relatable, but Gianni Versace actually had his demons as well. The only reason I say that is because Alexander McQueen actually committed suicide. He was going through shit that nobody really knew about, and he wasn't very open. And he actually had some really dope designs. I feel like Versace is actually very one-dimensional, to be real. You see a Versace piece, you know it's a Versace piece. You could look at a McQueen's piece right now, and guess what you're gonna have to ask? Oh, who's that? So someone's gonna literally be like, oh, this is McQueen. I like stuff like that better than the in-your-face stuff. He's more subtle than Versace.
Kellen all day. It'll be a Kellen for me. And that's just, it'll be Kellen for me. But I like Tokyo. Derek's, good. I like them both, but it'll be Kellen for me.
Ooh, Pain. Did you get more from Pain? Like hurt is hurt. You can I can hurt you, and you just hurt. I've been hurt, but the pain that I feel, I've actually learned from that. And I can draw from that. I don't know if you can really draw from hurt. You can draw from pain.
Muscle Gang. I say Muscle Gang because just speaking on my behalf, I'm trying to gain muscle. So I just feel like gaining is in now, honestly. Like everybody's either wanting to tone or gain. Not many people are wanting to lose. That's more so. A lot of females that I train are trying to lose. Obviously, the New Year's coming up, so they're trying to lose to get down to what they want to get down to for the beginning of the year. But a lot of my male clients, they're all about gaining. And plus, let's be honest, gaining is the new thing. When you have nice fitted clothes on and you look fitted in your sweater, that's just what it is. So.
That's hard. Literally, because those are my two favorite. Two of my two favorite. They're so different. Because Alexander is not really weird. He does a lot of the stuff I love from him is not weird. Gianni is wearable and sexy. I will say this. So Gianni feeds my soul and my bills. Alexander pays the dreams. So I can't really decide. That's a hard one. I would have Alexander.
I'm gonna pick the silk press. More natural, it's more healthy, it's better for your hair, it's better for the person's health. It's just a perm is a quick resolution, but when it comes to the well-being of the person, what I care about, it definitely be a silk press because it's natural.
Queen Latifah.
Vera Wang, she makes some of the best wedding dresses, and I'm all about love, so.
Boots all day.
Streetwear.
Or stay single.
Shit, damn, people gonna see this. I ain't gonna never have no man stay single.
Chess.
Men's if it's open-minded.
Can I say either? But nah, I'll go with Balenciaga.
Ball fade or temp fade?
It's definitely gonna be a 10 fade for me. I like a 10, a 10 is nice with the fresh, edge. It's a 10 for me, man.
You ain't really gotta say nothing to me. I pull up. I don't mind. Because you can tell me no. I'm like, okay, cool. Shit, all right, I got you. I'll take this and everything up and we'll leave.
Okay, the one trainer that I would say is Shaun T. Oh my God, yeah. And another one would be, I would say Mike Peel. So those two personal trainers are in total two ends of the spectrum. So Shaun T, because Shaun T, as we know, Shaun T He's like, that's the Insanity guy. The guy that did Insanity, the guy that's just like, he's a YouTube and Instagram sensation. I would love to collaborate with him because we seem to be on the same playing field when it comes to personal training. Like, he's such a go-getter, he's such a hustler, he's all about physique, and he's all about helping other people as well. Not so just so stuck on him, but he loves to pour out the knowledge that he has when it comes to fitness to his clients. And that's kind of how I am. I'm not so much like just about self. I'm about, pouring my knowledge that I know into the field that I'm in to other people. And then Mike Peel, he's a choreographer, and he's also a personal trainer too. He's cut back on the personal training side, more so into choreography. But Mike Peel, as we know, he's really big. Like, he's really like stocky, and that's kind of like the way I'm trying to go. I'm not trying to get as big as him, but as far as the muscle gain. So yeah, I would love to collaborate with him because maybe he can give me some tips on how to get bigger quicker.
I'm going to say easily Roberto Cavalli and John Quintanilla. The reason I say that, there's a video, I wish I had it. We might want to put this on the green screen. But first of all, anybody who knows me, Roberto Cavalli is my all-time favorite designer. And John Quintanilla is actually my favorite male model. And they actually have collaborated before, and I feel like that's one of the best runway shows I've actually ever seen. But because he's Hispanic, and of course, Roberto Cavalli's Caucasian, but John Quintanilla is Hispanic, and his bone structure, just his diversity from how he can go to soft to hard in his pictures on his runway walk is just it's mesmerizing, and it's actually so motivating, and it's really inspiring. And Roberto Cavalli, his designs is just unmatched. Like, I don't know any designer who I would literally say, like, literally, you see the book right here, it's literally Roberto Cavalli book right there. Like, his designs are literally just unmatched. Like, I would say I want to work for him, but I honestly don't want to work for him. I really want to help creative direct one of his shows and one of his lines. Like, that's really something that I want to shoot for.
If I could collab with two battle rap, probably Hitman Holla, because Hitman Holla has a crazy performance. He's loud. He's from the Midwest. He pronounces his R's really strong. You know how we do. Hitman he one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? And he does a lot of different things. He did the Wild 'N Out. You know what I mean? Like, he's funny. He's able to reach different audiences at the same time. And I think that's something that I want to hold. That I want to do. And I think Bonnie Godiva, even though we cool now, you know what I mean? We link, like, that's my girl. I still consider her, a top tier battle rapper. And she was on Wild 'N Out, and she's wild. Everything she does, she's funny. She's charismatic. You know what I mean? She makes everything she does look good. She doesn't care about the opinions of others. She just continues to do it. You know what I mean? So I think between her and Hitman, I think a collab with either one of those on anything, whether it would be a track, whether it would be a short film, whether it would be, some Wild 'N Out type shit, anything would be wild. Because y'all know I ain't got it all, and neither one of them do too. So, two retards.
I would actually love to collab with Anthony. He was on Project Runway All Stars. The reason why is I love the things that he does, but I see a lot of him in me. So I feel like it will be a great learning opportunity. A lot of his gowns are very over the top, which are things that I love, but I don't have the clientele to do it all the time. And just his personality, the way he moves, the way he talks, I just feel like it would be a great educational experience, not just for the collection itself, but for the education of it and just the feeling of being around someone who loves what they do.
I am August Snow. I am young, black, and gifted. You can find me at @August Snow or August Snow Hair.
I am Javon Robertson, CEO and designer behind the House of J. Amore. I am the makeup artist, fashion designer, hairstylist, the glamour mogul. You can find me on all social media platforms, Instagram at J. Amore, Facebook at Javon Robertson, and you can also check out my website to purchase, please purchase, and book at thehouseofjamore.com. And I am young, gifted, and black.
I am J2. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TheRealJTWO. That's the real J2, TheRealJTWO. Facebook at It Is J2, ITIS JTWO. I am young, I'm black, and I'm gifted.
I am Nick. I'm a personal trainer. You can find me on Instagram at NickFit504. You can find me on Facebook at Nicholas Charles. I am young, black, and gifted.
Make sure y'all follow me on kid_fro. Y'all gonna see it somewhere around here. Might be right there. But overall, I just want to come to y'all and let y'all know, guess what? I'm young, black, and gifted.